You said bullshit and experience is all it takes, right?
Right.
Come on and experience some of my bullshit.
Real Shift to me is about changing the culture around movie criticism.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
You don't have to like something in order to respect it.
You son of a bitch.
Streaming services are typically focused on quantity, not quality.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I'd like to dedicate this to everyone who's been down with the channel since day one.
It's showtime.
Before I get started today, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite episode of Wandavision has been up until this point. And please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Excellent!
So episode 6 officially brought us into the realm of 90s sitcoms. It's not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like I hoped, it's a Malcolm in the Middle type setup, complete with the fourth wall breaking kids who speak to the audience.
I think we can all agree that shit just went sideways in the most colossal way.
I think that type of humor is very appropriate for this type of show. They hammer this idea home even further with the character of Quicksilver, of course played by Evan Peters. He's playing the role basically of the zany uncle who sleeps on the couch and gets on his sister's nerves. We all know that uncle. Maybe some of you are that uncle.
You ever hear of a ritual killing?
I have to admit, Evan Peters being in this show is a breath of fresh air for me. Like it's a shot of life that this show desperately needed, in my personal opinion. He's fun, he's playful, he brings a different kind of energy to the show. Towards the end of the episode, however, we do start to address some of those hard-hitting questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Neither Wanda nor Quicksilver are really all that sure why he looks different, why he's wearing a different face,
and the patient is on 10 liters of oxygen,
or why both of their accents are gone. Even if they don't give us answers, it's nice to see them at least addressing some of these things that a lot of fans were bringing up earlier in the season. I did find it interesting that he talks as if he did experience dying, so that leads you to believe that he is in fact the Quicksilver from Age of Ultron.
You didn't see that coming.
And there's a brief moment in this episode where it kinda feels like he's trying to turn Wanda against Vision. I suppose it could be chalked up to like a brotherly thing, but when he says, "I'm not your husband, you can talk to me," it felt like something else was going on there. I could be reading too much into it, but it could be very possible that some outside force is using Quicksilver to manipulate Wanda.
That makes sense.
And it should also be noted that the reason that he says he's back is simply because he knew that she needed him. That seems a little too convenient for something fishy to not be going on. We also got an explanation for these cosplay costumes that we saw in the teaser images before the show even premiered. You know, the ones that everyone seemed to be losing their mind over? They're just Halloween costumes so everyone can relax. And from that aspect, they're actually kind of cool. It's a nice little reference to the past versions of these characters from their comic origins. This episode also features Vision, and he's starting to dig a lot deeper into what's going on here. He starts testing the limits of Wanda's little fantasy construct. He's going to the outskirts and he's seeing people out there that are barely showing signs of life. Some of them look like they're almost frozen in time. It actually made for kind of a creepy effect to see him walking through a town and just see people standing on the side of the road, not moving at all. Vision even eventually tries to exit the hex altogether, a move that almost proves to be fatal to him.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
The only thing that really saves him is the fact that one of his sons has some kind of telepathy power. He actually senses Vision's pain as he's being ripped apart by the Hex. I don't know why Wanda didn't feel his pain. That's something that maybe needs to be addressed as well. But this does cause Wanda to act a little drastically, and she expands the Hex in order to save his life. The thing is that as the Hex is expanding, it's absorbing all these people and these vehicles and different buildings, and all these things are getting repurposed to fit into Wanda's little fantasy.
Because it's all part of the plan.
I have to say, I thought this made for a pretty cool scene visually. One, seeing people running away from the Hex and trying to escape it, and then seeing everything transform as it was absorbed into it. There's some conflict going on the outside because Hayward thinks that Wanda is obviously a threat. I have to be honest, I think they want to portray Hayward as a dick in this situation, but I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Fuck me, right?
He's well aware of how shit has changed since the snap, and how dangerous superpowered beings can be. So I thought it was kind of interesting that they at least tried to explain things from his perspective, instead of just making him a generic bad guy. Then you have Monica, the Asian dude, and Kat Dennings on the other side, and they're pretty much pro-Wanda, and they're pretty much thinking that they can talk to her and somehow bring her back from the dark side. Given the need for a happy ending, this is probably the most likely scenario, but even Vision at this point is starting to see his wife as a threat. So any faith in her redemption might be a bit misplaced at this point. Hayward could very well be right. Maybe she is lost at this point and corrupt by her own power. Regardless, Monica has decided she wants back into the Hex to try to convince Wanda that what she's doing is wrong, and Boobs McGee stays behind and hacks the system and discovers that Vision is actually being tracked by Hayward. She later also gets absorbed into the Hex when Wanda expands it, so we'll see what she's able to do with that info from the inside.
Tits. Whew.
I still think Quicksilver's very existence is the most intriguing part of this show. And after this episode, I'm honestly very suspicious of his existence because I feel like there's something else going on here that is yet to be revealed. Vision has seen the pain that the townspeople are in, and he clearly states that he's going to take it upon himself and fix all this. Now, what condition will he be in after almost being ripped apart? We'll have to wait and see. It's stated in this episode that going through the Hex changes you. It's insinuated that Monica herself is actually going through changes after going through the Hex. I'm assuming that's leading to her gaining some type of superpower. Either way, they've kept me engaged for yet another week, and I thought this was easily the best episode of WandaVision so far. So did you see WandaVision episode 6? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Right on.